can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, and this is episode 753 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled, It Was Getting Hot. I'll be chatting about the continuation of our post-lightning strike fixes. Parts have been ordered. Things have temporarily or primarily or initially been troubleshot. And we figure things will go smooth from here, right from here on out. But that wouldn't be the case. So we'll talk about the rest of the week. This ended up being a 10-day adventure, 10, 11-day adventure, starting on that Saturday and then through the following Thursday or Friday, really, till things got back to normal. A lot of waiting in between. Don't worry, folks. It's not going to be 10 episodes. I don't think. Anyway, I mentioned yesterday I got some decent conspiracy stuff that I was popping around on TikTok. And so Friday, even if we're still telling the story of this whole adventure, we'll skip that, put it on pause, and head on over to Conspiracy Friday. So good morning. Who is in the live chat this morning? We got Pip in early. Good morning, humans. 3:07 a.m. That's a little early for my blood. Canadian Farmstead, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Jim and Chim, good morning on YouTube. Double good morning, Jim, on YouTube and over on Nostr. Good morning, Nostr Chiz over there. Thanks for popping in. And X, good morning, X. Hi, how are you? Thanks for stopping. I appreciate it. What's your deal? Where are you from? What's up with you? Anyway, what's in the cup this morning? We're continuing on that bag of light Ethiopian. Couple of presses into this bag, and it's fantastic as always. Can't get enough of it this morning. Actually, a little groggy, a little tired. Not horrible, but definitely could use some coffee. And it's getting there. Jim's wondering if X is actually Elon over here on YouTube, hanging out in my chat. You're new, curious, and awake. Oh, nice. Well, what are you curious about? We can help you with a lot of things on this show, for sure. We are full of curiosity. We are full of curiosity and ideas in this world. You stumbled onto the right place, depending on what you're curious about. Well, the audio, the live chat, and myself are more than willing to give our opinions on a lot of things that you may be curious about. So feel free to drop questions in the comments. Light Ethiopian from Food Forest Farms is always fantastic. I get a monthly order coming up here pretty quick. Brian ships out on the 15th of every month. Coffee shipments go out with the C4 Club, and man, it is such a value. If you look around and poke around at the prices of premium air roasted coffee out there on the net, and start really comparing sizes of the bags, prices, shipping, all that jazz. If you look into these small micro batch roasted, air roasted coffee brands, the first thing they do is they'll drop the weight of the bag below a pound. It'll be 3/4 of a pound or 5/8 of a pound, and the price looks really nice, except it's not a pound, which people have come to standardize coffee. Brian at Food Forest Farms is a pound or a little bit more. It says approximately a pound. I've always found that he's very generous with his weights. The product's fantastic. The price is phenomenal. Whether you're in the Seafloor Club or not, the price is phenomenal, and always free shipping at foodforestfarms.com. So if you want to give it a try and take that next step in your coffee adventure and your coffee growth, go ahead on over to foodforestfarms.com. Use LOTS10, LOTS10 at checkout. That'll get you 10% off your full order. And like I said, always free shipping. That's a one-time use coupon. So if you've already used it and you like the coffee, which I almost guarantee you will, use LOTS5 going forward. LOTS5 will get you 5% off your order. Or go ahead and jump into that C4 Club. And all you got to do is order a minimum of 2 pounds every month. That's $40 a month. You get 2 pounds of fantastic coffee shipped to you, custom roasted for you and your taste. All you do is communicate with the boss over there at Food Forest Farms. He is the man. He's the one that's roasting it. He's the one you'll talk to, and it'll be fantastic. foodforestfarms.com. X says, cool, anything that normies call me crazy for. Good morning, Jamie. Off-Grid Ping stopping in. Appreciate that. Canadian Farmstead got a Vector cereal ad. Not the first time I've got that. Advertising money well spent on the low-carb guy. Oh, they're trying to pull you back. They're trying to pull you back. It's like the mafia. You try to get out, but they just keep pulling you back in. Jim says, Food Forest Farms, the perfect cup in the cup, and a Frontier ad today. You planning on switching internet, Jim? And the perfect cup. So that's another benefit of the C4 Club. Brian is very business savvy, and Brian is very giving in his knowledge. Hey, what's going on, guys? Over Brandon on the go, in with the daily the daily joke over in the vertical feed. Appreciate that. I'll get over to that in just a second. And good morning, Sandman N. How's it going? How are you? Thanks for calling me a hero, man. I don't know about that classification, but anyway. Brian just wants people to succeed. Brian wants to lift everyone up, and in that, all rising tide lifts all boats. If he can help you make some money and he can make some money, and you can all learn something, that's a goal for him. But one thing that comes with that C4 Club is a 100-pound a month allowance per spot of a white label coffee brand. Basically, you work with Brian to come up with a blend and a roast level for your white label coffee brand, your multiple, and then you can sell it. And you can sell it at a discounted wholesale price to you, sell up to 100 pounds a month and take the skim. It is a great deal. It is a great deal, especially if you have something like a church organization that has a bunch of people that might want to go in together and just do a bulk order every month. These things, if you have access to a decent group of people, a captive audience, paying $40 a month, getting extra awesome coffee, and then also having an opportunity to make a little money on the side is never a bad idea. So check out foodforestfarms.com. Try the coffee, try the C4 Club, check out the Airbnb out there in Seattle. It's I can't say that I'm upset that I met Brian. So good morning, Aubrey. Thanks for hanging out. Slicks, thanks for coming over in the vertical feed there. What are we talking about today? Today we're going to be talking about the continuation of my fixing all the shit that went sideways when my camper was pretty much struck by lightning. So we had a lightning strike super close. I think we got zapped both by a surge in the line and then also static. And so over the last couple days, I've been talking about everything that went sideways in the whole adventure. So we're going to continue talking about that. Brandon on the go stops in with his daily joke. I appreciate that daily joke every day, Brandon. Never make your passwords beef stew. It's not stroganoff. There you go. There you go. Get it? It's not strong enough. Pip says only crazy until they realize you're right. Yeah. And who gives a fuck anyway? So X, you want some advice. You said you're curious and you're awake. Don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Make up your own mind. Think about things the way that they make sense to you. And just don't give a fuck. Pip's wondering if it was Frontier Airlines, a Nissan Frontier, or Frontier Internet. Jim says I muted it and skipped it as soon as he could. You guys know when you skip those ads, I don't get credit for them. Good morning, K-Bong. Thanks for stopping in. Canadian Farmstead with old school wisdom: don't pee into the wind and don't eat yellow snow. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, anyway, so where we left yesterday, I had you can pee uphill, you just got to have a wide stance. Yesterday I was talking about troubleshooting out what happened. In essence, that is one of the best compliments I think I've gotten. And Jim, I don't know. There's certain ads I get credit for. It's all in the settings. Jim says, "Oh shit, I won't skip anymore." I was just busting balls. You guys don't need to sit and watch ads for me. The amount that YouTube it flips me. The amount the king flips me down here in the peasant land, it's like, yeah. Over on the vertical feed, I just got one of the best compliments I think I've gotten in a long time. It says, "You look like a strong and beautiful lesbian." I mean, in this day and age, that would mean I would be like a beefy man, right? So we had 5 critical system failures all at once. We had a lightning strike, close. It was incredibly loud, and Corey and I both felt tingly. Not going to be in the next Olympics. I couldn't even compete with the women in the Olympics. Well, I could probably break dance. I would just have to take some like seizure inducing medicine, and I would be in there in the women's breakdancing for sure. Pip says I could win female boxing gold medal. I'd probably not. I don't know if I could beat up a woman. That is like one of the what is it? Antithesis. That is one of the things that in my whole life has been something I could never compromise on, was the rage I feel when I hear someone beating on a woman. So I don't know if I could square up and give it my all. Good morning, Pickle Pete. Thanks for coming in. And Jamie says, lesbian nomad breakdancer. I can't wait to see it. Represent. So we had 5 critical system failures when the lightnings came. Not the good lightning, not the Bitcoin lightning. It was the lightning out of the sky. And I don't know if so I had a running theory, and I was going to talk about this later in this whole recap, but I had a theory at one point. Now, I had a little bit of issues. I have mental issues. Some people would say I have mental issues. I wholly admit that there are things wired different in my brain. But during this whole experience and the frustration and the stress level and the lack of communications and the upset in routine and the at times feeling trapped, but there was a lot of shit going down. And I actually, someone might have planted the seed in the Telegram group, or it might have just popped into my head. I'm not sure, but I started thinking about like stress tests. And I started thinking about, is that a tick? Sorry, guys. A little distracted. I started thinking about stress tests and the government. Weird. And like MK Ultra and all that shit. I was like, how the fuck and why did I get put into this situation? And I was like, someone's fucking with me. I'm part of some bullshit that they're trying to see what it'll take to get somebody to break. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, how is this all going sideways all at once? Like, I get you have rough times, and I've had them, and I had them, and I'll have them again, and all of that. But when that shit starts piling on, and piling on and piling on, at some point you wonder, like, what the fuck did I do? Jim says, breaking news, homeless man beats up woman on YouTube for a super chat. Beautiful bearded woman chases people with maul in Tennessee woods. Offgrid Ping says, is that the new $25? It would have to be way more than $25. If I'm going to show you my weenus for 20, it's going to be a lot for me to beat up a chick. Canadian Farmstead figures Amazon's doing a social experiment on everyone who bought the Daily Stoic. I got on a list. I got on another fucking list for buying a self-help book. Awesome. Off-Grid Ping says, I think there might be one or two of those in these woods already. Yeah, I haven't run across any, but I've heard stories. We did see a guy walking around with a 2x4. While Jim says he's pretty sure the Daily Stoic's a psyop. It might be. You know, they've been running that psyop for what now, 2,000 years. when were the Stoics around? Maybe it was more than 2,000 years. Holy shit. When Corey's parents were here, we were out for lunch, and we came out of the restaurant, and we come to a stoplight, and we look up, and this dude's just like fucking rolling across the street, bopping along, and he's got a fucking 2x4 with him, looking like he's ready. Fucking hacksaw Jim Duggan from the 80s and 90s wrestling, ready to crack somebody in the head with a 2x4. And I was like, "Ooh, boy, that could be fun." Anyway, 5 system failures. 5 system failures. Our electric went out, our water pump went out, our air conditioner went out, our internet went out, and my laptop was fried. All in a flash. So I've troubleshot down all the shit. Sling Blade. What a fucking good movie. Ain't got no gas in it. Ain't no gas in there. So at this point, I've troubleshot everything. I've ordered parts to get myself going. I talked about yesterday that Starlink was basically no fucking help, and I just went and ordered a router on my own to try to fix it. Their automated customer service basically said, your message that you sent very detailed on what's going on with your system didn't matter to us, and all we're going to do is say slow speeds can be caused by network congestion and high traffic times, when that meant when my message said I can't even connect to the fucking router. It was nothing to do with slow speed. So I was really kind of irritated about that. I ordered a router, said fuck it, I'll fix it myself. I've done networking shit. If it's the router, I'll be able to figure it out. If it's not, I'll just order more shit, I guess. So here it is, Monday morning. We've secured a place for Corey to work because we didn't have internet. She needs to continue to work. So Amazon's scheduled delivery was Tuesday. I have a new thermostat ordered for the air conditioner. I have a new converter ordered for the DC power, which I currently had redneck engineered with a power bank and a cord from an inverter that I cut off and used the ends and wired it in into the panel and just plugged it in. It was pretty janky. I'm not gonna lie, but I was pretty impressed with myself coming up with that solution in the stressful environment that I was. So that was good. That was a win because that got our toilet fan, our composting toilet fan working. It got our water pump working and our lights working in the short term. And I could continue to charge that battery bank if we used up that power in the meantime. So I had the converter ordered and the router, like I said. So and I also very quickly, because I had very limited internet, very limited cell signal, I was very quickly able to bounce through Amazon and find a desktop PC, a desktop mini PC, as cheap as I could find, because like funds were not allocated for this type of fucking situation. I mean, emergency fund, but like, I wasn't ready to buy a new laptop. That was coming in the future, in the near future, but not in the near future. Not now. So I looked for discount, some discount monitor, and found a decent deal on monitors that I couldn't pass up on a 2-pack of curved monitors that were about the size I wanted when we moved into a cabin. And then I found like a Amazon renewed mini PC. And luckily I had been looking at them for some other projects. This isn't what I wanted to buy for myself, for my full-time machine. But it was something that I had looked at for some projects. So like $200, I think. It was $200 plus like $130 for the two monitors. So all in, I think the computer was like $300, just over $300. So it wasn't horrible. So Monday morning, I take Corey over to our friend Norman and Herschel's, get her set up. Come back. I got the dogs with me because it's super hot in the camper. Of course, this happened when the temperature was in the high 90s, and it was supposed to be for days on end. High humidity. Can't really leave the dogs at home without the full air conditioner working. We had the portable, but the portable in this camper is, I don't want to say it's useless, but it's not very effective. If you've ever been in a camper in the summer in the sun, it's like a tin can. And you're inside a tin can. Just think about a solar dehydrator and how hot you can get a solar dehydrator taking tin cans and putting them in the case there. That's kind of what it is. As soon as the sun hits this thing, the temperature starts skyrocketing, where it'll actually be warmer outside than it is in here. And the airflow in here is absolutely horrific. If I was designing campers, I should get a job designing campers at this point after being in one and just looking at it and figuring all this shit out. But yeah, no airflow. It heats up extremely fast. So this is the small portable air conditioner we picked up to use out at the cabin. It works a little. Let's just say it works a little. Enough to keep the dogs from having heat stroke is about it. And that is with really going the extra mile and hanging blankets over the windows and kind of confining our space that we're trying to temperature control. So I'm bringing the dogs with me in the truck everywhere now. At that point, we're back to good at this point. But at that point, I was bringing them with. So load up the dogs, take Corey, drop her off, come home, unload the dogs from the truck, take the dogs for a walk, bring them back in, and sit and get hot, basically. So I got to wait for Tuesday afternoon at that, because stuff was coming FedEx, stuff was coming USPS, stuff was coming UPS, and it was just going to be, I had to take a trip out and pick up some parts that afternoon, on Tuesday afternoon. So Monday I hung out. I started reading the Bitcoin Standard, which was one benefit. How many BTU is the portable air conditioner? It's like 9,000. It's not a lot. It's more the camper. The camper has like zero insulation, and it's a hallway. So there's no good place to put it where it actually circulates the air, and as soon as it cools the air, it just gets hot as long as the sun's on. As long as the sun's out and shining on the camper, that's the problem. When the sun, if it's cloudy, or when the sun starts to go down or goes behind the trees, it works fairly well. Yeah, not horrible. But when it's 99 degrees outside and the sun's cooking the camper, it can't keep up. It dropped at like 8 degrees in here. I think when I was looking at the height of the heat, it was like 99, not including humidity, and the temperature in here would be like 92-ish. At least it wasn't humid. Canadian Farmstead says you're saying it's hotter when the sun is out. I'm saying it's hotter when the sun is beating on my camper. Pickle B says a 14K might. I don't need a new one. It's summer's on its way out, and I'm moving into a cabin. It's a make it through at this point, especially a lot of things. It's a make it through. But yeah, 14K might do it. I think the rooftop. I think the rooftop might be a 12, and that barely keeps up in the sun. Hunter says yes, it's hotter when the sun's out, and there are at least 2 people in here that wear fur coats all year. Yeah, exactly. That's the bigger thing. Like, I can make it work. I can figure it out when it's 99 degrees and super humid. I can figure it out. The dogs are what I am concerned about, especially since especially since they're meant to be in the cold. Pickle P says one is none. Next year's plan. AC goes out on sale, and yeah, I got you, man. I really do. We made it through with it. We also had friends offer us a secondary one if we wanted it. It wasn't worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze on that. And yeah, Jamie says I'll take hot over cold any day. You know what? When it was 99 and humid, when it's 99 and humid, and I'm out working at Duncan Scully, when it's hot and nasty and I'm sweating and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. What the fuck am I doing here? All I say to myself internally is it's not -30. That's it. I don't have to go work outside in -30 and not be able to feel my hands and not be able to walk without sore joints and my muscles being tight and cold and I can never get warmed up and stretch out, slipping on ice and shoveling fucking snow. Yeah, it's not that. So fuck it, I'll do whatever. Dogs didn't choose that. The dogs would rather lay in a snowbank at -30. So there is all that. When we got those dogs, we weren't planning on, we were in Minnesota. We were staying there. So it was a choice by proxy there. So anyway, hang out on Monday, read the Bitcoin Standard a little bit. If you're looking for a book to scare the living shit out of you, read the first couple chapters of the Bitcoin Standard. Yep. I don't know. I'm not really always up to date on the internet trends and all that shit. I see them in passing, and if they're just stupid, I don't even pay attention. I try not to get involved in it. But I do recall seeing some shit about the Roman Empire. What was it? Women asking their husbands or significant others if they ponder the Roman Empire. Read the Bitcoin Standard and your answer will be an overwhelming yes, among other great civilizations that fell after their money was fucked with. Yeah. It's I had to take a pause because I was getting caught up. I haven't really had reading time, but I was thinking last night that I really need to finish that book. It's good. So Monday was spent basically trying to not lose my mind, trying to keep the dogs cool, trying to watch tracking numbers because I barely could mud flood. Was that after a bad night of drinking? Just trying to not stress too much. I mean, it had been a day and a half at this point, going on 2 days of just constant high level stress. High level stress. Like, what the fuck am I going to do stress? Not like at work when shit goes sideways and you can go home. It was bad. Like I sat later in the week and really thought about what I had gone through and what Corey had gone through. I can only talk to my experience from it. It was rough. It was a lot of stress, guys. It really was. Oh no. Jim says the cold is why he's a snowbird. Canadian K-Box is losing mind. Not losing mind is a daily method. Yeah, no shit, man. Especially when it just doesn't stop. And that was when I started contemplating all the shit we'd gone through, is really when I started wondering if I was in some sort of weird fucking experiment. X, nice looking up shit Jamie's telling him. Canadian Farm said, if you want a mud flood, you a night of drinking finished off with Taco Bell for a midnight snack will do it for you. Hunter was wondering if Corey's work setup got fried too. No, Corey's stuff was all unplugged and turned off and everything, and it was all good. Luckily, luckily, because we would have also had to figure out how to make a trip to Minnesota at that point. And we did talk about that contingency, what would happen if her stuff went down just on a random Tuesday or through something like this, what we would have to do. And also she gets upgraded equipment. She has to have her equipment upgraded. So that's stuff we have to plan for, with her being remote and not remote being the standard practice for her company. So made it through Monday. Oh, wow. Look at that. Hey, how you doing? Hey, and there we are. Made it through Monday. Picked Corey up. We spent a very warm evening here with the dogs. Tuesday came. Packages showed up, and I ran out to Jamie's. Jamie, Off-Grid Ping, is receiving my mail and packages and stuff, and I really appreciate that. I was able to run out to his place, grab. What came in on Tuesday was the thermostat, the DC converter, my computer, and monitors. I think all came in on Tuesday. Really, really excited about that, because then we could get the lights back on. We could get, the lights were on, but get the lights on and get the power bank out of the way. Get the air conditioner back on, get my computer set up, and wait on the internet, which at this point was saying 2 to 4 weeks. I believe it was Monday I got the shipping notification, though, that it was supposed to be that the shipping label had been created. Do you guys ever see that, where the shipping label gets created and then it doesn't fucking ship for a while? That's what I was figuring was going to happen. I got Starlink that it had been shipped, and when I clicked on the tracking, it was like a label's been created, but we don't have your shit yet. Jamie says I only look through about half of them. If they don't make noise when I shake, game on. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So I got a shipping notification that the label was created. So that was fantastic. So that only made me refresh the tracking like 400 times a day. I went and got the packages. I wanted to get the thermostat in, changed real quick, and get the air conditioning going to get it cooling down in here for the dogs and for my wife and for me, really. So I chose to do that first. That was easy. That was 3 wires. I don't know if you guys have ever changed thermostat. Basically, pop the face off, unscrew 3 screws, put the wires in the new one, screw them down, and put it back on the wall. I did that, and no change. Same error code. And I was like, just dejected. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I had to walk away from that. And I was like, all right, well, I'm too irritated to continue working on that. So let me put the converter in. Hopefully I made the right call on that. Like I was 99% sure that the converter was bad. Jim says 10% seems fair. Every 10 packages, Jamie gets to keep one. Jamie's going to get a lot more than 10% of the stuff if he wants it. A lot of the product reviews and stuff is stuff that definitely can pass on if he has a use for them. So Jamie and I are square. Don't worry about that. I was 99% sure that the converter was the issue with DC power. Like 99.9%, really. The air conditioning was a shot in the dark. And unfortunately, after the fact, I'll tell you in a second, it didn't have to be that way. So I was kind of pissed off. The thermostat didn't work. Still had the same error code. I knew what that meant. And so I grabbed the converter. I get the converter out and look at it. It was pretty straightforward. It did look like it was going to be a little pain in the ass. Some of the wiring I was going to have to do, not the number of wires, or it was the routing of the wires. why they do shit the way they do, I've never really understood for a long time. And then that's been a constant battle over the years. Forever. It's like that constant age-old battle of maintenance technician versus design engineer. K-Bong says, did you return the thermostat or keep it? Oh, that'll be continued here in a second. So I throw the new converter in. It took about 20 minutes, I think, and fire it up, unplug the power bank, and the lights came on. The shitter fan came on. Now the max fan works, and the water pump works, and all of that. So score one. I got 1 out of 2 right. On that crazy Sunday morning with no reference material and no internet and just trying to order shit, bare bones. Computer, I didn't even give a shit. Internet didn't even have it had a tracking number, but no estimated date yet. So I just left that on the bed. And then I started looking at the air conditioner, and I was hot, guys. I was hot because it was fucking hot in the camper. I was fuming because the thermostat didn't fix it, and that's what I ordered. I was mad. It was probably a good thing that Corey was at work. I'm guessing the dogs, if it hadn't been so warm and they weren't just exhausted from it being so warm, they would have probably been hiding somewhere. I was livid. That was my job for, solid over 5 years, troubleshooting every day. But even before that, for as a maintenance employee at different places, that was my normal job for at least a decade, was troubleshooting and fixing shit. To wait 2 days and realize the mistake I made, I was so mad, disappointed, angry with myself. Not angry with anybody else, angry with myself, disappointed in myself. Because when I opened up the air conditioner and I looked and I started actually thinking about it, which I should have done in the first place, because that's what you do. You stop. It doesn't matter when you're trying to be a good technician, a good troubleshooter. You have to turn it all off. All the stress of everything going on, all the shit that's going on because whatever you're trying to fix isn't working. You can't think about that. You have to be clear-headed and clear-minded and walk through the steps. Otherwise, you miss shit, which I did completely. Hunter said, did I push the button on the transformer? No. But what I didn't do is go up into the air conditioner, follow the fucking thermostat lines, and look at the little board in there and go, huh, I bet it blew the little board. I bet it blew the little fucking control board in the air conditioner. And that's why I have a communication issue. Otherwise, if the power went through that and got to the thermostat, it wouldn't have been a big enough surge to take the thermostat out. I didn't think through my fat head at the moment that the power didn't come from the thermostat to the air conditioner. Everything went through the air conditioner to the thermostat. That the air conditioner powered the thermostat. And when I unhooked it to change it, I went, shit. Like immediately. I didn't even, when I was putting the new one on, the fact that when I unwired it and took the power cable out of it, and I know this, like this isn't something I discovered that day. This is something that I remembered that day. You got to follow the power flow. And when you're dealing with lightning strikes and you're dealing with damage from electricity, follow the direction that the electricity flows and you're going to find your most likely answer. With no manuals, no nothing, I should have been able to realize that the board was a more likely issue than the thermostat. So I fucking dick around for a while, and I'm just, I was livid for hours because it was getting hotter and hotter and hotter in the camper. And I tried to start looking up part numbers. I didn't have enough signal to call anybody, to call around to look for parts. I was able to find a Camping World that was like an hour away. I was able to find another RV place that was like 40 minutes away. I was able to find some part numbers on the unit itself. And so I sent Corey a message and I said, hey, would you be able to call these RV places and let them know this part number, see if they have it. And it was for the control board. Actually, it was for the whole control box. No, my part number was for the board. I went to the board level. Turns out we ended up getting the whole box as a unit. But I had her call around with the part number. Took a little while. She got a hold of somebody and then basically wrote me back and said, she says that part number is discontinued and is not orderable. And I'm like, fuck me. Really? Normally wouldn't have been a big deal. Like normally I would have called Dometic, the company that made the air conditioner. I would have done a Google search and in 2 seconds found out the replacement part number. Companies don't well, they do, but normally they have another compatible part number on a newer model. Those numbers are easy to find when you have internet access. Those numbers are easy to find when you're not trying to explain it to someone non-technical over a Telegram message where you don't get messages more than, every few minutes, every 4 or 5 minutes. Friends equal life. You pay me $100, I will name a car for an edit. If you super chat me $100 right now in the vertical feed, I will name whatever fucking car you want. And you could edit it all day long. Shit ain't free. Fiat. Oh, so I so I was pretty hot. I didn't know what we were gonna do. I was able to struggle through the afternoon and catch enough internet signal, go outside, walk around the yard with my fucking, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? While my internet browser on my phone's like spinning and give me the no connection, all that shit. And so I got the new part number, the replacement part number. And now just to find one, I go on Amazon and looky here, you can order a kit that has a thermostat and the replacement box. So if I had taken an extra 20 minutes on Sunday and really drilled in and was able to search the internet, even in 1998 standards with like 28.8, 14.4 internet speeds, I would have been able to find this part number. No problem. I would have been able to find the kit. I would have ordered them both and it would have worked. It was going to be another 2 days before that could get here from Amazon. And so I was waiting till Corey got home to figure out what we wanted to do. And I went over. My friends Norman and Herschel could obviously tell I was not happy. I was visibly angry. Stayed in the truck. Stayed in the truck when I picked her up. Did not interact very much. Friends for life. You're not my only viewer. You're not in the only stream that I'm going to, my man. Don't flatter yourself. So we come home and I'm losing my shit, Corey. I'm like, I was beating myself up for making the wrong call. This was more important to me than any job I ever fucked up. I ever misdiagnosed. I ever screwed over. There's been a few that hit me pretty hard when it was like a mom and pop gas station and I made a mistake and I wasn't able to help them out and it cost them a lot of money. That stuff kind of always hit me hard because I take pride in my work and I try to help the people out that are skimming by, that I was trying to fix their stuff, do it as cheaply as possible. I always carried old boards from gas pumps that we had taken out that I knew were good. I always tried to give them a deal and make it right for them. If I fuck something up with a big corporation, like a Circle K or shit like that, whatever. But this one is for me and my family and the comfort of my dogs and my wife. And I fucked it up and it really hit me hard. And I was mad. I was really, really mad. And it was hot and it was getting hotter and it wasn't supposed to cool down overnight. And Corey said, well, why don't we go to Camper World? It was in Jackson, so it was like an hour away. She's like, we'll take the dogs, we'll go, we'll get a bite to eat, we'll be in the air conditioning in the car, we'll go to Camper World, we'll see if they have your part. And I'm like thinking to myself, there's no fucking way that they have this part. There's no way. That's where she had called that they said it was discontinued. I had the new part number, I had pictures of everything, and I was like, okay, well, it's worth a shot. At least we get the evening in the air conditioning in the truck. We'll grab some food. We'll give the dogs a break from the heat, and maybe we'll get lucky. And so we drove to Jackson. Corey drove me to Jackson. As we got internet, I was doing a little more research and hoping that the parts department was open. We were supposed to arrive at 5:02 on the GPS. I figured the parts department closed at fucking 5 o'clock. Like, as shitty as our luck had been going, I figured they would close at 5 o'clock and we were going to get there at like 5:03. And I would have probably jumped the counter and tried to find the part myself. But we got to Camper World. We went in and nice lady. I mean, it's not her fault. I don't think she was a parts person to begin with. But I walk up to the counter and I was like, hey, I'm looking for this module. Here's the part number. Probably comes in a kit. Might be this part number. As a technician and dealing with internal parts guys and parts departments and tech support from manufacturer, ordering direct from manufacturer parts, blah, 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 the whole thing. Like, I know how to do this shit. I know how parts inventory systems work. And I was surprised. I was very surprised when Corey gave them the number I gave her that it came back as not orderable and it didn't come back as this is the new part number. Shocked, actually. So I give her the number. She starts typing in and this and that. And I could tell that she had no fucking idea what she was doing. Another guy walks over and she's like looking at the parts behind the counter. And the guy goes, what are you doing? She goes, this guy needs a model. I'm like, what? What? He's like, he says he needs a what? And she's like, he needs a model number, this. And I'm like, I really hope this guy decides to help me and doesn't turn around and walk away. Which he did. And so we start looking at things. He gets up on his computer and he types in the part number and he's like, yeah, I'm not seeing that in here. Discontinued. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. Hunter needs a model too. I was like, this isn't gonna go well. And so I was like, well, what if I have the air conditioner model number? Would that help track down this? I need the control board for this air conditioner. Here's the air conditioner model. See if that's in your system. And so he puts the number in and he goes, dude, this is a model number for a vintage air conditioner. And guys, it had been a day already. I had really been through a rough day mentally. And this guy looks at me and says, that part number's for a vintage air conditioner. And I was like, I fucking know my camper's old. It's not that old. It's vintage because they made a new model. And the guy's like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's only a 2014 camper. It's only 10 years old. How the fuck is it vintage? And I was just like, I was over it at that point. He's like, well, we'll figure this out. Jim says, I heard about the murder of a parts manager. Was that you? No, it was not. And so we dug in. He had the computer turned around. We were both working at it, and we found it. We found the number of the kit, and it says they had one. And he goes to look for it, and he's like, where's the planogram? And I'm like, what the fuck? They had just reorganized, like the day before. They had just finished reorganizing the whole parts layout, the whole parts department. And the dude lost the planogram, like where all the part numbers were. So he's manually scanning every shelf for this part number. I'm looking from across the counter, looking for part numbers. And finally he pulls it out, brings it over, and it was the whole kit. It was the control box. It was the cables. It was the thermostat. It was everything. And he's like, man, I don't know. Hunter says, had you recently prayed for patience or something? Oh, man. I prayed for something. And he's like, yeah, I have no idea how much this thing is. And I was like, I don't fucking care how much it is. Really, to be honest with you. Oh, Pickle Pete's got to shut off satellite. See you later, buddy. Jim says, was the box dusty? It actually wasn't. It was for the newer model, but it was retro compatible to my air conditioner. It was the exact same thing, except it was for a new air conditioner. I'm guessing they just updated the part number. It was literally the exact same thing I took out of mine. Same board number. So I worked on a board. What's up, NFS or NFS? How's it going, man? I remember you. I remember you too. Will you remember me? I always worked on a board level when I was ordering parts. I ordered boards. I changed out boards. I changed out solder points. We didn't order. I mean, sometimes we did, but normally we didn't order like whole component systems. We just ordered a new board that we needed. So we're checking out, and the dude's like, oh, do you have a good phone number with us? I was like, no, I don't. He's like, well, if you want to sign up for Good Sam, you can save a bunch of money today. I'm like, no, I already did that once. Canceled it a year later. I don't want to buy any shit at your overpriced store, but you're the only place that had one within 100 miles. So there we go. Pay for the board. We decided to get dinner. Stopped at a fast food joint on the way home. And I got a new hat for the show. I have it up here. So when I get angry, Corey said I had been a little angry that day, and I admitted it. So when I went in to get our order, because I ordered some shit that was like custom made at Burger King, I guess have it your way means if you order anything that's not stock on the menu, we're going to make you wait longer. Jim says, did you copy can and get two? They didn't have two. It was the only one they had. They only had one. And he said, we're probably not even going to order another one of these. It won't be a stocked item. It'll be an order, and it'll be like 1 to 2 weeks. So I got super lucky. When I went in to get my order at Burger King, I got a new hat for when I'm being not good on the show, and I'm being a little, oh no, the light. Oh, when I'm being a little fiery, I can wear my hat. So I got a new hat. I am the fiery king. So expect that to make its appearance here and there on the show. Got home, literally took under 5 minutes, under 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes that swap the box out, hit the air, and it came on. So Corey saved the bacon. She suggested we went. We got to have a nice cool sleep on Tuesday night. Wednesday was comfortable for the dogs. Wednesday night was decent, and we had more parts coming in on Thursday. It's a 2 after. Okay, Wednesday calmed down a little bit. It was cooler in here. I had parts on order. The router was coming. I was going to be able to troubleshoot the Starlink. I set up my computer. I went to fire it up, and there was a note in there. And I don't know if you guys have ever bought Amazon Renewed, but they don't activate the operating system. You're buying the license for a previously installed version of Windows, and you need internet to activate it. Well, I didn't have internet, so that kind of shot me in the water there. That kind of shot me in the water on my computer. I read some more book. I hung out a little bit with the dogs. And then I got a customer service message from Starlink. So I had replied and told them basically that they were fucking idiots on Sunday. Said it had nothing to do with network traffic. I couldn't connect. The router's either bad, the satellite's bad. I tried to fucking figure it out. I ordered a router. I'll be doing troubleshooting. And I had gotten an updated shipping, and it was supposed to be there Thursday. The router updated its shipping. It wasn't 2 to 4 weeks. It was actually 4 days, which was fantastic. But they reopened the ticket when I sent them my "you're a fucking idiot" message. And 3 days later, somebody replies back, and they're like, "Oh, sorry for the inconvenience. This is what we'll need to further troubleshoot. We need a picture of the dish face. We need a picture of the connection of the wire into the dish. We need a picture of the connection of the wire into the router, and a picture of the connection of the power cable for the router into the wall." And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to make me send you pictures that it's fucking plugged in? Like, if you could possibly know how much inconvenience this is causing me, you would never ask me if I check the cables. But I was like, anyway, At least I talked to them. They wrote me back. This could be beneficial. I'm going to wait since the router is showing up tomorrow morning. I got this at like 7 or 8 at night on Wednesday. Router was supposed to be there on Thursday. It's Thursday, or it's Wednesday night. The router's supposed to be on Thursday. I was like, okay, I'm going to basically not reply to this message. I'm going to get my router on Thursday. If the router works, if the router was the only thing that was blown, which I was hoping that was the case, because the power for the dish comes from the router. So I assumed if there had been a surge that took out the router, the power wouldn't have made it through both the fried router and the Cat 6 cable that they use to power the dish. I figured it would have melted the cable before it damaged the dish. Off-Grid Ping says that was the other thing. Sure, take a bunch of pics and you can't send because you don't have damn internet. Yeah, that was another thing. So I was going to hold off for the router got here, and then I was going to continue that. That's a great place to stop for today, because tomorrow I'll be able to wrap it up. I think we're almost fixed. We got air conditioner running. We have DC power. We have AC power. My computer, I need internet to load back up, but that's on site. I got it set up. I got the monitors set up. I got everything plugged in, all the wires. So as soon as I had internet, I could fire that back up and start recovering that mess. That's going to be that's another issue in itself, talking about backing things up and the best way to do it, because I need to find better ways at that. Yeah, I need to find some better ways to back some different things up. Yeah, so everything's kind of coming back together. At least we're comfortable. Still no internet, still no cell signal. Basically in the dark. Every once in a while, I'd get enough signal to play on Telegram for a minute. Hunter says, you know how many times we've made money because there's air conditioning isn't working and it's because their thermostat was set too high. Dude, the service calls that I made as a gas tech. So our dispatch fee just to roll the wheels was $125. They paid mileage on top of that, depending on where they were located, depending on what zone they were located in. And then my rate was over $100 an hour. I wish I had gotten that much, but I got significantly less. But they charged over $100 an hour for me to work on shit. At least once every other week, if not more often. But I would say conservatively averaged out over the whole time I worked there for 5 years, at least every other week, I would get a call that a gas dispenser wasn't working. And when I would get there, it was because the hoses were hung up on the wrong cradle. So they would have four different grades and 4 different hoses. And somebody would knock the handle off the one, and then when they were picking them up, they would put them on the wrong thing, kind of like on Idiocracy with the guy and the sensors, and this one goes in your ear, and this one goes in your mouth, and this one goes in your butt. Yeah, they would mess it up. And so I would roll up, and the first time this happened, it took me 7.5 hours to figure it out. The second time it happened, it's under 10 seconds. It's once you experience troubleshooting and changing parts for 7.5 hours and realize that the hoses were switched, it is literally the first thing you look at when you drive up to any gas pump, even if I wasn't working. So they would pay, 200 plus or more, 300, depending on where I was going, for me to roll in, and then 10 seconds just literally changing the nozzles to a different hose. Jim says, oh, I'm going to switch the hoses at the pumps from now on. What fun. Oh, do it side to side, too. That really gets them fucking confused. Like, hang up one nozzle from one side on the pump from another side. Yeah. There's some stuff you can really fuck with these people because they don't care. They don't know, or they don't care, or one, it doesn't really matter either way. But anyway, thermostat was set as low as it'll go. It fired off. Excuse me. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up today. We're going to get out of here. Tomorrow, I'll be talking about the conclusion, the Starlink adventure and how that turned out. Beyond that, definitely check out Food Forest Farms and the C4 Club. Check out thelotsproject.com. Be sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And find me on Nostr. Down in the video description and the audio description, there is a link to a video on how to sign up for Nostr. Click on that, watch it, sign up, check out what you think. Curate your own feed. Don't let Mark Zuckerberg decide what you should see, because you know what Mark Zuckerberg wants you to be is irritated and agitated and upset and outraged. So you scroll more and you comment and you keyboard warrior. Yeah, that's what they want. On Nostr, you follow who you want, and if you don't like them, you turn them off, and you see everybody in your feed that you choose to follow. Weird concept, huh? You want to follow them, you hit subscribe to them, and you see what they post. Weird. Check it out. It's growing. Imagine if you could have got in on Twitter at the beginning and grew a network there as the site grew. But regardless, heading out to DG today to do a little installation and work on some stuff out there. Prep for another awesome weekend out there with my beautiful wife and dogs. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. We'll talk about the conclusion of all of this, and then Friday we'll roll into Conspiracy Friday. It's Hump Day, guys. I hope you are enjoying your week. I hope you're getting a lot done. Have an awesome day, and we will catch up with you in the morning.
I can see the light.